is um, Euro USD. This is our chart Euro USD from last week. You can see it played exactly the way I wanted to play, but I didn't get an entry here for my own trading. But on the Telegram, this signal we gave on Friday, we actually put our entry here, and this was a good profit. GBP USD, the same thing we experienced with. This is happening with GBP USD, GBP USD, yeah. Um, Euro USD, sorry, USD JPY took us out. GBP USD was a very good trade. Then Bitcoin was an awesome trade. My analysis was that if we break past this region, then we're taking it to this particular point, and we've already exceeded that particular point. And Ethereum, the same thing. I was looking for a break out of this point. Then this is the demand zone, and you can see that's played out directly the way we wanted to play. If you look at BNB, the same thing happened. We broke out of this zone, we tapped into this particular zone, and we went all the way to our take profits. So you can see that from the analysis we did on Friday, the only one that took us out was USDJPY before going the direction we expected it to go. So it was a very pretty good trading Friday for us. And on Telegram, it was there. Which I can show you maybe next time I'll just prepare to show you our direction, our analysis, and our trade results for that particular Friday. Again, the signal channel on Telegram is revamped. We are dropping signal more regularly on Telegram now for the Forex channel on Telegram at FX. And guys, note that if you go to Telegram and search, there are so many Telegram channels with my name. Somebody said he can't hear anything. I hope I can be heard. Okay. I hope I can be heard. If I can be heard, just type it in the comment section. Can I be heard? If you can hear me, let me know in the comments, because someone said that I cannot be heard. Okay, I'm clear. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go straight to today's analysis. Okay, I'm gonna clear this off. But if you look at my last week analysis, I'm looking forward to we having a retracement from this particular region. But what I do is that I like to clear everything and start afresh, like start afresh for the week. So I'm going to clear this so you also see how I come about all this. So we're starting from Euro USD. After Euro USD, we're going to do GBP USD. Then we do UJ. We do GJ. I like to trade that pair a lot. Then we do BTC, Ethereum, and BNB. These are the 5 assets, or the 6 assets. Is it more than 6 or 7 assets we're going to look at? And we have to cover this in just the next hour. Within an hour, we have to cover this. So I'm going to start from the weekly time frame. That is how I start my Forex analysis at the beginning of the week. Then during the week, I don't go up to, I just stay from 4 hours down to 15, 5 minutes. So this is a weekly time frame. We still have a fair value gap here, meaning that we need to clear this region, but that is not our concern here. Now, I am still looking to take this as my upper boundary and this as my lower boundary. So this has not changed. So my upper boundary is here and my lower boundary, I'm still maintaining this. I've been maintaining it for a couple of months now. So the idea is to, this particular week, to trade between this particular range, right? That's just the idea. So that is what we determine in the weekly time frame. From there, move straight down to the daily to see if we can iron things out. So on daily, what I start looking for is break of structure. So here we have a break of structure to the upside. Normally we'll have a break of structure to the downside here, which means that we'll have to retrace. We're meant to retrace from down to this point, to this zone, and come down. But that was not respected, right? Then we have a break of structure to the upside. So what is this is giving me is this. If we break to the upside, we'll have a retracement to this zone to go higher, or a retracement even down to this particular zone to go higher. Either of them is valid on the 4-hour time frame. But again, for this week, I'm looking to trade between here and here because we might not have a retracement all the way down to this particular zone. Okay, we might just have it. We might do this. We might see the movement this way to go lower, or to go lower this way, and probably to come higher this way. Before I get here, let's quickly look at Forex Factory and look at if there's any news that might disturb crypto today. So there's really no high impact news for today on either on either Euro or USD. So 4 hour, okay, this is daily time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, we're going to refine further. So the 4-hour time frame, I like to look for swing trades on the 1-hour time frame, then day trades on the 15-minute time frame. Then if I want to scalp, I can go as low as 2 minutes. But I rarely scalp. I do mostly day trades. So if you look at this, what do we have? We have a break of structure to this upside, right? So what I'm expecting is since we have break of structure to the upside, I'm expecting a retracement down, then we'll move higher. Okay, to this 4-hour demand zone because we're on the 4-hour right now. And right now we've had this. Look at this. So we have a high, a low, a high. Let me take that back. So here we have a high, a low, and we'll have small movement this way, and we have another high here. Now we broke this swing point here. We retraced, we did this, and we broke another swing point here to this particular region. Okay, so looking at this, if you look at the downside, from here is actually a break of structure here. So I can call this a BOS. We also have another break of structure here to this point. Again, if we have a break of structure, what do I expect? I expect a retracement. So here is the supply zone, the 4-hour supply zone that led to this break of structure. Okay, this one is a liquidity sweep. It's not yet a break of structure. Okay, so this is a 4-hour demand zone. So I'm just going to label this. This is my 4-hour, sorry, supply zone rather. It's my 4-hour supply zone. Now, if you look at this, we have another supply zone here, this particular one. And this supply zone is a 4-hour supply zone as well. So I'm just going to label it that. This 4-hour supply, this 4-hour supply zone is what actually led to this breakout structure we have here. So this zone led to the breakout structure we have here. So I don't even need this particular breakout structure. So this is our area of interest. Okay. Now there are two ways to enter a trade here. You can simply do one of these. Just take your short position, place it here. This will be my high, and the target is this particular low. This is a 5 points. It's a 5.27 risk reward ratio. Okay. Now, two things can happen. One is that we have this one holds and we'll have a drawdown this way, or it can actually fail and we go higher than before coming down this way. So we can either place a limit order here to sell from this point directly down, or we wait for a confirmation entry. A confirmation entry happens this way to take it lower. Either of them is actually fine. So you can do a risk entry, confirmation entry, or momentum entry. Now, but we don't trade on the 4 hours. We say my entry starts actually on the 1 hour time frame. So let's go to the 1 hour since we have a sense of direction where we are meant to go to. Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, I can actually refine this further. It's a 4-hour supply zone. I can turn this to a 1 hour zone by refining this to this point and refining this to this particular point. So I can change this label to a 1 hour supply zone. You can see the 1 hour and the 4 hour almost aligned, meaning that I can expect to take my short position from here. I still want to maintain this, or I can actually also refine this particular one to a 1 hour zone. So 1 hour zone will be here. It also almost aligns. Over here, I'm going to refine this to a 1 hour supply zone. So again, our possible entries are: one, we take a short position from here, this particular point, limit order to go lower. We can target this as our first low, 4.57, and we can target this as our next low, 7-hour risk reward ratio. So this gives us a very good risk reward ratio. So this is one possible entry, but again, I said this can fail. So another possibility to enter this particular trade is to wait for a confirmation entry. So this is a confirmation entry. We tap into this zone, we go lower, higher. If you have this, so we have a break to the upside, a break to the downside, then this is where I want to enter from. So since we have this set on the 1 hour, and we have some sort of liquidity here. It's not a clear liquidity, but I still consider it as a liquidity at this particular point. So it means that this might be broken. So we can wait for a confirmation entry. So confirmation entry, since this is a 1 hour demand zone, we might start looking for confirmation entries on the 15 minutes time frame. So 15 minutes time frame is this happens on the 15 minutes time frame. That in other words, you have a tap into this zone, it goes lower, it does this, and this. If it creates an other block at this zone, then this is where I want to enter this trade from. So these are the two possible scenarios of taking this particular trade. One is a limit entry, just go short on this particular point. The second one is a confirmation entry to take this trade lower to this particular point. So that is Euro USD. We'll go straight to GU. So this is GU. I'm going to just delete the ones we did last week. And the same thing I do for EU, I do basically the same thing for GU. I'm going to start my analysis again from the weekly time frame to find the weekly range. Okay, so weekly range, again, you can see that GU is also very similar to EU. So this is the fair value gap we have here on the weekly. This remains my high. This remains my high for the weekly. Then my low, I can actually take this as my low. I can maintain this as my low. This is more like a monthly low, not even a weekly low, but let's just maintain that. This is my low. So for this week, I'm looking for trades within this region. Okay, so daily time frame. The daily time frame, we start looking for okay, market structure basically. So again, we had a break of structure this way. So what do I expect? A retracement down and an upward movement. Again, break of structure to the upside. We expect a retracement to the upside, to the downside and upside, or to this particular zone. So it's just almost the same thing with what we have on EU. Okay, so I'm going to go to the 4 hours time frame and then start looking for my order block and all that. So here we have so here we have a tap into this demand zone, the 4 hour demand zone. We had a tap into it. So this is one demand zone here. This is another demand zone. But for this particular one, we had a tap into this zone and we seem to be moving away from it. There are possible scenarios. The possible scenario is that we can keep moving high. Okay, because here we just had a liquidity sweep. We didn't break down properly to the downside. So we can keep going high or we can retrace further, right? And go higher. That is the possibility we can have. We can retrace, we can go down from here, or we can retrace into this other supply zone here and go down from here. That is what we want to investigate. Okay. Mind you, you look at both of them, EU and GU, you look the one that makes more sense is a trade you eventually take. So looking at this on the 4 hours, what do we have? We have a market structure this way that broke structure. We have market structure down as well. And this way we didn't have a break of structure. We had like tiny break of structures here, but for example, this here is actually a break of structure. Okay. This one at this point. Okay, we are still here. So it is the same thing that I'm seeing on EU that is here. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark out my supply and demand zone. So this is a 4 hour. zone. This here is also a 4-hour supply zone. So 4-hour supply zone and also a 4-hour supply zone. So right now I'm just looking to see, can I take a short position from here? Should I take one from here or should I take one from here? Then I go down to the 1 hour to investigate further what I should actually do. So the 1 hour, I can choose to refine this again, refine this to this point, and call this now a 1 hour supply zone. Okay. And at this point, I don't want to have a clear entry, unless if I want to refine this, it's going to be here to this particular point. Okay. This is now my 1 hour supply zone. Okay. So the same analysis still stand. One is we can take a short position right away from here, or so one scenario is to take a short position from here, the way it is like this. Okay. Target this particular low. This is a 4.89 risk reward, pretty good. So this is one scenario to take a short position from here. Second scenario is just to wait for confirmation entry on the lower time frame. This confirmation is this, and this. So which means that again, I'm moving now to the third, because here, if this happens, we are sure to go down, because we can actually retrace here and go higher to this particular point. Okay. So this is a confirmation entry. If you want to wait for that, you can still take a risk entry. The good thing about the risk reward is that you're having a 4.8. If you take a losing trade and one winning trade, that brings it to around 3.8 if you're doing proper risk reward. So the point is not to win every trade, but to win more when we win and lose just very small when we lose. To win at least 3 times of what we win than when we lose, right? So when you lose, your aim is to win at least 3 times of that when you win, so that even if you lose 50% of the time and win half of the time as well, it still brings your risk reward to around 2. So 15 minutes time frame is where I start looking for these confirmations now. It's where I start looking for these confirmations now. So we can probably have an Asian sweep into this particular demand zone, then we'll now come down all the way. So this is my analysis for GU. Let's go to USDJPY. So USDJPY is a trade that actually took me out last week, on Friday rather. It had been a very profitable trade, but we just got taken out. And even I put my stop loss to this high, it will have been okay. I will have survived this, but we just got taken out here, and the trade just moved, hit the first take profit, hit second take profit, and even went down and hit the top take profit. But it's okay. That happens. So I'm going to remove it and just go ahead to analyze it again from um, from the high time frame. All right. So we'll start from the weekly, but it's still a forex pair. I don't do weekly on crypto. I do weekly from the forex pair. So the trading range, you can see that I drew my trading range. Like, this is my trading range from last week. It is still what I'm maintaining, this high, this low. So maybe I can move this one to this particular point. This particular point. If I look at here, these are all efficient zone. Okay, so we're still looking forward to trading within this range. So daily on UJ, I haven't really deleted much. Daily on UJ, um, break of structure, it applies almost all the time. So I'm just going to move down to the 4 hour this time because it's more like the same thing. So you can see that um, we have break of structure. This is the zone that led to that break of structure. And that is why I have a confirmation entry here. And this is my last week analysis, okay? The idea is that if I have a confirmation from here, I can target this particular high. If not, then this becomes the next zone where this is going to fall to. So this is a demand zone, demand zone, demand zone. These are the possible areas where we can have this pull up to. I am banking on either this one or this one. Okay. This, if the chart is going to come down here, it's going to take a pretty long time because over here in this particular region here we have a lot of efficient zones. These are all efficient zones before we have this, but we don't have any much efficient zone here. Just the way we don't have much efficient zone here that this one actually cleared. So I expect that this one is the one that will likely hold if this one fails, rather than this one. But for this week, we might not be bothered about this because this might not even get here this week. So trading within this range, trading this might just give us a lot of opportunity to make money this week. So I'm just going to move to the 1 hour because my analysis is, it hasn't changed, right? So on the 1 hour, what do I expect? I can expect one. Um, I would like to see a confirmation entry here in this zone to take it higher. A limit order will be this. This time around, it's a long position from here, from this low. We target here as a first take profit 2.29. Here is second take profit 4.66. But I cannot take this trade unless I see this happens, this confirmation entry. Unless I see this happen here. If this happens, then this will now be where I'll be entering from. This will be the zone where I will enter from. If we see a push upward, downward, push upward again, that break structure, this will be where we're entering from. If this fails, then I'm looking at here to go to take long position from again. So that is simply UJ. Again, this on the 1 hour, I'm looking for confirmation entry on the 15 minutes and below. 15 minutes, even 10 minutes and 5 minutes. That is why I'll be looking for a confirmation entry because you might not see it if you're looking at the higher time frame. Okay, now GJ, let's look at it. GJ, so I'm going to remove this from last week and remove all this. So start from the weekly again. From the weekly time frame, okay. So GJ on the weekly, this is the last. Um, this will be the high I'm looking at. This particular high. It's actually far off. So let me just remove all this and just do a fresh analysis on this. All right. We're gonna remove all this. Okay. So for the week, I'm looking at this low. And I want to maintain this high. Okay. Or yeah, maintain this high. Daily, daily, a lot of efficient actions. Okay. There's not much to see here. Almost straight to the 4 hours to start opening things up. So in the 4 hours, I start looking for where do we have breakout structure. Here, down here, we actually have I have an alert here waiting. So here um is a 4 hour demand zone. Okay. Even though I'm expecting to trade within this region. Okay, but just mentioning this. It's a 4 hour demand zone. Then the next thing I have to look at is start looking for where I have breakout structures. Okay, so if we look here, we have this is the last breakout structure to the upside. We have this one. I just mark that out. Okay, then this is the low that led to this high. So we also have a break of structure of it to the downside. Okay, so this is the break to the downside. Now this break to the downside, because if you look here, if you look at the whole of this on the 4 hour, there is no demand zone. They are all efficient actions. You can see that they're all efficient actions. Now, if you look here, over here, we have this is the last supply zone I'm seeing on the 4 hours. So we have taken that supply zone. So, and I'm expecting that since we have this break to the downside, we took this. I would like to see further movement downwards, further movement downwards like this, probably to target this particular region from what I'm seeing here. So with the knowledge of this, we now go lower to investigate further. So what do we have? We have a tap into the zone. This low is the low that tapped into that zone. So I'm going to mark out this particular low, this swing point. What we have here is not yet a break of structure. Okay, what we have here. So I would like to see, and what we have here is efficient zone. Even up to this point, they're all efficient. All right. So what I would like to see here is to see an opening for a demand zone. Okay. This is what I mean. If we have a break, because this is not yet a break of structure, like I said, if you have a break of structure to this downside, let's say we have this low taken. Let's say we have this particular low taken. Okay. Then my orientation now is like, okay, we're going to go lower from here, possibly to go and look for, to target this particular zone. To target this particular zone. So that is what I'll be looking at for in GJ. So where do we trade from? Because you can see that we don't have any clear demand or supply zone. They're all efficient. So I'm going to go lower now to the 15 minutes and see what we can target. So on the 15 minutes, we're seeing some opening up. Over here, we have a supply zone here. There's an open supply zone. This time around, this is a 1 hour supply zone. And we have another 1 hour supply zone here. This particular one. So, and you can see on the 1 hour, this gives us actually a proper break of structure because this candle has been formed. We're on this particular candle. So it means that there are two possible scenarios that can happen here. One is a short position from here, from this zone. This is a possible zone to take an entry from, to go lower. Okay, because this is a zone that broke this structure. Okay, so we can now start targeting this low. This one low to target. Another one is to take from here, from this demand zone. This one may fail. This is the next zone I'll be looking at. if you look here, if you look at this top, this is relatively okay. It's actually taking. It's not like okay. Apart from this particular two highs now, so they are relatively equal high. These two, they are close together. So this is, I can call it a liquidity sweep. That is this. I can call it a liquidity zone. Okay. So which tells me that I should consider this zone more. I should consider maintaining, taking this particular trade. This is a 5.8 risk reward ratio trade. So this is the one that I'll be considering to take, this particular one. So that is GJ. So we've looked at EU, GU, UJ, and GJ. Now let's go to crypto. I have a question here. I'll take questions once I'm done with the crypto. Okay, let me just take it now. Abraham James is asking a question. The question is the trade on USD JPY on the weekly time frame. I'm looking at a sharp downtrend, and the other part is that uptrend is a consolidation. I don't really get your question, if I'm being honest. Um, okay, a sharp downtrend. Yes. So let's go to the weekly. Okay. Um, so you're looking, from what I understand, you say you're looking to see a downtrend to this point. Is that what you mean? Because I don't really get what you mean. A sharp downtrend. Let's see. Okay, let me just go straight to Bitcoin. Okay, so this is BTC trade. It was a pretty good trade last week. This actually played out yesterday, Sunday. If you trade Bitcoin, you know that Bitcoin will always have a very slow Saturday, but Sunday it picks up. So this is the what we had on Sunday. So I'm just going to remove the whole of this. Like I wanted to go short from here, but I wanted a confirmation entry before I can go short. But I see that we didn't get the confirmation. Okay, so the way I trade. Franklin is asking, are we trading? You're basically asking, are we trading from the fair value gap or from the other block? I trade from the other block, right? I just see a fair value gap as an open gap that needs to be filled into the other block. Now, some persons still take trade from the fair value gap. Yes, it works, but I see the other block as giving you the best risk reward ratio. Sometimes you miss trades, right? Sometimes I miss trades because it doesn't get there. But if you just choose a particular something that works, you've back tested, just stick with it. The reason why I'm sticking with the other block is because I get the best risk reward ratio, and and sometimes I get it get hit. Yeah, sometimes I miss trades, but I just take the other block because it gives me the best risk reward ratio. So I don't mind missing some trades. Okay, because sometimes even if you are targeting the fair value gap, you might take an entry, you might hit stop loss and you're out. That happens. And if you want to cover to the other block, you're having a very wide risk reward ratio. I don't take a trade if it gives me less than a risk reward ratio of 3R. Hope that answers your question. But generally, if Just pick one method that works best for you. Be consistent with it. Back test it and you're good. If you're good, then you don't have an issue. So I'm going to clear all these things. For Bitcoin, let me bring this back. So we're going to start from the daily time frame. I don't bother myself with weekly on Bitcoin. I just on crypto. I just start with the daily. So let me clear all these things. It's a new week. We'll do the analysis fresh. Okay. So daily time frame. What do we have? What do we have on the daily? So is Bitcoin bullish or bearish? That's one question people want to know. And I always say this: if you look at the general trend, we are bullish, right? So trend is always like this: high, consolidation, high, retracement, impulsive move. So we are still bullish. We can retrace, even if we retrace up to this point, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, so you don't think that Bitcoin cannot get to 80, 70,000? It can. It's not up only. I think one asset that is really like almost up only is gold. Gold is good, is crazy. But yes, Bitcoin can still have a very good retracement to 70 and move upward. Now, but if you come down to, if you break 70, that is when it becomes scary, right? Because we can get down to 40 to move higher. But on the short term, we can be bearish, right? For this particular retracement. So you're asking if I can explain other block. I made like I've made so other block is basically my supply and demand zones. So it can be a supply zone if it's to the upside, demand zone to the downside. I made a video on market structure. It's like very well explained. Just type on YouTube Jude Umeano market structure. You see that video. It is really, really well explained there. I think if you watch that video, you won't have any questions with regards to this. It's well explained. So on the daily, this is the demand zone I have here. This is the breakout structure we had on the daily. So if Bitcoin retraces to this point, let me actually mark out more daily zone, okay? This is another demand zone on the daily. It's a tiny one compared to this one. I have a daily demand zone here. My angle is at Jude Umeano. So I've not actually been active on X for some times now because I am reworking the course, and I've been making sure that we have a very vibrant signal channel. I think once I'm done with all this, I can get back to being active on X. So we have possibility of tapping this zone to go higher because this is a demand zone here, clear. So Bitcoin can get to 100 or below to go higher. If it breaks it, then this is target. This will be 94 or 84 will be the next target. This whole of 84 to 74 zone will be a zone to buy. But in the short term, this is the zone we're looking at here to buy for Bitcoin. So yes, we can see more movement going higher. Now, if you look at this, um, we also consider the demand zone that breaks structure. So we have this break of structure here, and on the daily, this is actually the demand zone that did break structure here, and that seems to be the one being respected. But we have not cleared this high. We just had a sweep of this high. So um, this high is not cleared. We are having just a sweep of it. Okay, to join Telegram, you just check. We are bringing a new link to join Telegram, especially for Forex trading. That link should be live on Wednesday because we're working on it. But right now, you can go to the description of the video, scroll to the bottom. You will see for the signal channel, you see for Forex, Afibi FX. For crypto, you see Afibi Crypto. So these are the links you can use now to join the channel. If you click on work with Jude, it might take you like 4 days before you get the link. Or we're changing to the point where you can see it immediately to join and take our signals. Okay, so where am I? Let me go to the 4 hours now. So 4 hours. What do we have on the 4 hours? I'm just going to remove this. But this is a demand zone. This area now is actually a demand zone. This particular demand zone. That is what we are reacting from. We haven't broken new high, right? But we broke, yeah. So we broke to this point. So this might just be a retracement for us to go higher. Okay. So sorry, I was looking at the comments. It's quite distracting me. So what do we have? We have now before I'm looking to mark this as a 4 hour zone. This 4 hour zone, right? Is what I can mark. But then again, I'm looking to see we have an efficient zone all the way here. But I want to see that we have a break of structure here proper before I can mark that. So with this, I'm going to go straight to the 1 hour. I feel I'm beginning to rush this. So yes, on the 1 hour, if you look at here, where we are at this point, we have a high here. This high was broken. So that is my break of structure. Okay. So that's my break of structure. Low, high, and so that's is the break of structure we have. Now, but the ultimate one is this particular high. That is a clear high that if we take, it's more likely we are in the upside. But anyway, our trading now for today is we're not concerned what is happening above or below. Our trading for today, we're looking to trade this particular region. Can we go higher? Can we go lower? That is what I'm concerned about for today. I'm not concerned about every other thing that is happening. Okay, so for that, I go to the 30 minutes. I found that other blocks, for somebody asking question on other blocks works really well for crypto on 30 minutes. It works better for me on 30 minutes than on the 15 minutes. So I like to look for my other blocks on that particular time frame. So what do we have? We have a pretty efficient zone here. This looks really bullish. So this is a 30 minutes zone here. It's a 30 minutes. I'm going to stick with this. So that's a 30 minutes demand zone. This is all F. So this is another one here. Another one is below here. So what's my trade? Okay. So my target is this high. We'll have some price action here. Possibilities we can have is that we go down and take here and go higher. That is a possibility. Okay. But here we're not seeing like, if you look at this, we're not seeing like a proper structure that we can trade here. So this is where I start going down even deeper, like going to the 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or even 5 minutes to see trades. If I don't see trade, I'm going to leave it. If it's not clear, I'm going to leave it because you don't just force trades. Okay. So this is like, if you look at this zone here, I'm not seeing, with regards to my strategy, I'm not seeing a zone here to actually look at to say, okay, I broke structure here, so therefore I'm going this way. Okay, I'm not seeing that there. Rather, I'm actually seeing more like a bullish action beginning to form here. I won't sit on the 15 minutes, but I can actually see it if I go lower, say to 10 minutes or to 5 minutes. Let's see. So on the 5 minutes, let me go back to 10 minutes first. It's all efficient. So on the 5 minutes, what can I see here? This is, we had a consolidation here from this point to this point. We consolidated. This is the low. This particular low you see here is where we had the breakout structure. Okay, so this is now going down to lower time frame to look at this. We had our breakout structure. This is, or this one other block, this another other block. This other block was respected, and which took this market lower. But if you check above, so I'm going to just remove this one. We still have an order block here. So on the 5 minutes, it's an order block at this point. Supply zone, right? So this is a 5-minute supply zone. So what can this market do? What can this market do? So I'm going to still put use the power to and draw. The market is ranging from here to here. Okay. So if we break, let me remove this. What can happen here is that if we break down this way, then we're going to go lower to here. So this is where I'll be happy to place my trade at this point. Okay, so if you break lower, have a break of structure this way, then I will look for an order block here. That is one thing I can do, or I just simply use my Fibonacci to place it from here to here and take a trade between the 6.2 and the 709 and the 7.9 and target this particular zone. So what I can do is just to place an alert on this particular tool so that whenever Bitcoin crosses it, either way, I can trade. Another scenario is this. Um, if we have a break to this side, I might look for trade here, but I'll only target to this particular point, right? Because this is a point where we can see a reversal from, because it's a supply zone. Then if we break above this, that is when I have to look back to start looking for the next place where, compared to the ones we've been seeing before, this is a little more technical to look at. Let's look at Ethereum. So I'm just going to quickly round off. Um, because it's almost time for me to end this stream. So for Ethereum, I think because I usually do Ethereum, then BNB, and we stop. Okay, let me just do Ethereum from the daily time frame again, but rush it a little. Daily time frame. This is the zone I'm expecting to a tap into. So this is still my zone. Okay, so I have for this week. I'm happy to trade. Okay, this is big. This is it. Crypto. It's much faster. So let's look for trade between here like this in this region. Is where we want to look for trade. Now, if we look here, this is a high. This is a swing point that led to this high. So we have taken it. So break of structure, okay, to the downside. So once you understand break of structure and market structure, you can take a lot of trades. So here is we're looking want to get into this point and go lower. That is what I'm seeing here, basically. Want to get into here and go lower, or get into this particular region and go lower. That's what I'm seeing on the daily, right? But we are not trading daily, right? We are looking for trades on the lower time frame. So this is my daily demand zone, daily demand or supply zone rather. Okay, with this, I'm going to the 4 hours. 4 hours. Okay. So can we go lower? Yes. Right now, the 4 hours, we're acting off of a supply zone, this particular supply zone. And this supply zone is the zone that led to the break of structure. This supply zone is the zone that led to this break of structure. So it's a strong supply zone. So should we take a trade from here? I think what I will wait to see here is the same confirmation entry. Same confirmation entry I talked about. Like you see here, 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 here. This is a confirmation that will give me some assurance that okay, we can go lower from here. If not, I'm not going to take this trade because it's a good place to take a trade from because it's a strong supply zone, and this zone led to this breakout structure. So the markets will likely reverse from here. But to be on the, how do I put it, on the safe side, you can wait for confirmation entry. That's going to lead me to the 1 hour zone. Okay, the 1 hour time frame. So all I'm basically interested is I'm still looking for that confirmation here. 15 minutes. Now I'm actually on the 5 minutes now. So this is where we can trade from. I'm kind of rushing this because I don't have time anymore. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I want to trade down to. So, so we actually had that confirmation here. So you can see upward movement, downward, upward, and we broke that structure around here. So once we break the structure, you can see that we did have a demand zone here, which is taken from here. So this is going to go down from what I'm seeing for Ethereum. So we can look for more entries. If you look here on the 5 minutes, we have another breakout structure here. Then we have a zone here. So for a entry, this is a position I would gladly take. Target this zone. This is a trade I'm going to take actually. Immediately after this, I'm going to just place my order on this particular trade. BNB, we'll end it with BNB. So I think I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end it here. We'll do the same thing on Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'm not going to do the weekly analysis, so it's going to be much shorter. I'll analyze more currencies. So make sure you're here on Wednesday. So join the Telegram. Use the link in the description. To join Telegram, use the link in the description of this video. Just go to where it's much lower where you see the links to join our Telegram channel. There are two of them, one for crypto, FX, one for Telegram. So just go there to join. We're gonna have a link above and a new series if you want to learn crypto from me or learn how to trade from me. You see the new series coming up on Wednesday. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye everyone. We'll take questions and answers on Wednesday.